Obialugo, please marry me and be the mother of my lovely children. Days became weeks, and Obialugo's happy laughter slowly disappeared like a song no one remembers anymore. Her mirror no longer made her feel brave. Instead, it only showed her the mistake she had made. She sat on a small bed, tears filling her eyes. So this is how my story ends, she whispered. From a queen with big dreams to someone living with regrets. She stood up slowly and packed her things. The same small bag she brought from the village, her best wrapper, her mirror, and her pride were all folded neatly. I'm going home, she said softly. I have seen enough city Odogwu. I don't think I will ever find my real Odogwu. I wish I'd listened to Mama. The afternoon sun was hot, and the road was full of noisy cars as Obialugo walked towards the junction to enter a bus back to the village. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but dried quickly because of the hot wind. She whispered to herself, if I didn't reject all those hard-working men in the village, I would have settled down by now. Maybe I will have children. But no, I was waiting for Odogwu, and it came in borrowed cars. She shook her head sadly and stepped off the curb to cross the road without looking. Suddenly, a shiny white car stopped with a loud screech, missing her by just a little. Are you blind? A man shouted. Obialugo stopped, her heart beating fast. She looked up and saw him. Tall, handsome, well-dressed, with eyes that looked angry but also gentle. The man came out, still upset. Young lady, watch where you're going. Do you want to get yourself hurt? Obialugo tried to talk, but her voice broke. I'm sorry, sir. He sighed, trying to calm down when he noticed she was shaking. Where are you going? He asked. She sniffed. To my village. He looked at her small bag, then at her tired face, and his voice became soft. It's okay. I will give you a ride. As they drove, the quiet space between them slowly became warm. What's your name? He asked. She answered shyly. Beautiful name, he said with a smile. I'm Clement. They talked about life, the city, and how people pretend to be what they are not. And for the first time in many weeks, Obialugo found herself laughing again. Clement was different. He wasn't trying to show off. He was just himself. And when she asked him what he did for work, he simply said, I run a delivery company, not the fake kind, the real one. She laughed so much she almost cried. By the time they reached the bus stop where she was supposed to enter the bus to the village, it already felt like she had known him for many years. Clement parked by the side of the road and looked at her with a serious face. Obialugo, he said softly, I want to tell you something I've never told anyone before. She turned to him, wondering what it was. I promised my mother I would get married this year, he said, but I have not found anyone good enough. Every woman I meet only looks at my money, not at me. Obialugo's heart jumped. He continued, but when I met you, I saw something different. I saw strength. Obialugo blinked, not sure if she was dreaming or if this was a gift from the heavens after all the shame she had faced. Clement, she whispered, are you saying? He smiled gently. Yes, Obialugo, will you marry me? Her mouth opened in shock. Marry you? He nodded. Right now, if I could. Obialugo took a quick breath and put her hand on her chest. Oh, gods of my village, after all the fake Odogwu, you finally sent me the real one. Yes, I will marry you. Clement drove Obialugo to his family house in a quiet, peaceful part of the city. His mother, a sweet old woman, was lying on a couch, weak but smiling. Mama, Clement said softly, I brought someone special for you to meet. Obialugo stepped forward shyly. Good evening, ma. My name is Obialugo. The old woman's eyes brightened at once. Ah, so beautiful. My son, you finally brought a woman home. Clement smiled and held Obialugo's hand. Yes, Mama, this is the woman I want to marry, if you give your blessings. The mother touched Obialugo's cheek gently. My daughter, thank you for finding my son before my time is up. I can rest now. Tears filled Obialugo's eyes. For the first time in her life, she felt truly seen, not for her beauty, not for her pride, but for her real self. That night, as she lay in the guest room, staring at the ceiling again, she whispered, So, this is what it feels like to meet your real Odogwu, the one destiny sent, not a fake one. 1 week later, Obialugo stood beside the window of Clement's car, smiling at her face in the glass. The dusty road of her village slowly came into view. She could hardly believe it. The same girl who left the village with shame and too much pride was now coming back, not alone, but with a man who looked like money and success. She whispered to herself, I told them my Odogwu will come. They laughed, but now, let them open their eyes well. Clement laughed from the driver's seat. Are you sure your people are ready for this? She grinned. They will be more than ready. Even the trees will greet you. Obialugo and Clement continued their journey to the village. The sound of the car engine made the whole village come out of their huts. Children ran after the car shouting, See fine car, see fine car. Old women paused their fufu pounding, adjusting their wrappers, and watched as the car stopped in front of Obialugo's home. Everything became quiet. The car door opened, and Obialugo stepped out, wearing a beautiful lace dress and gold earrings that shone like the hot sun. Is that not Obialugo? Someone whispered. Another opened her mouth in surprise. Ah, I thought she went to the city to suffer. But the biggest shock came when Clement stepped out, tall, handsome, neat, and smelling like money. The women covered their mouth. Jesus, she found a real Odogwu. Obialugo's mother ran out of her hut, still holding her cooking spoon. Who is blowing on in my compound like police? She stopped talking when she saw them. Obialugo, she said in a small voice. Yes, Mama, it's me, Obialugo said proudly, walking toward her. I told you I will find my Odogwu. Clement bent a little and greeted. Good afternoon, Mama. I'm Clement. Your daughter and I came to greet you properly. Her mother almost dropped her spoon. Clement? She repeated, then laughed and cried at the same time. Ah, my enemies have failed. My daughter came back with a man from heaven. She ran out shouting, Neighbors, come and see. Obialugo's Odogwu is real. Within minutes, the whole compound was full. The villagers gathered quickly. Even Opara the hunter came, pretending to stretch his back so he could look at Clement's wristwatch. Dike the fisherman also arrived, smelling like catfish and regret. Even Emeka the carpenter, who once gave Obialugo a flower, stood there in silence, his mouth open like an unfinished chair. Ah, Obialugo, Opara said awkwardly. So this is your Odogwu. She smiled sweetly. Yes, the real one, not the ones whose bodies are smiling, but their pockets are crying. The crowd laughed loudly. Dike whispered softly. Her taste finally worked. Clement, humble and respectful, shook hands with everyone and greeted them in their local language. The villagers nodded with approval. This one is real Odogwu, an old woman said. He even knows how to greet elders. Truly, he is Odogwu. By evening, Mama Obialugo had prepared a small feast, pounded yam, egusi soup, and palm wine. Everything smelled like home and celebration. Clement ate well and smiled. Mama, this food tastes so good. It has been a long time since I ate real home food like this. The old woman laughed until tears ran down her face. My son, eat more. This is only the beginning. Tomorrow, we will kill goats. As the villagers sang and danced around the compound, Obialugo looked at Clement and smiled. Do you see why I couldn't settle for less? She asked. Clement smiled back. You were right. You just needed to wait for the right one. Later that night, Obialugo sat alone outside under the moonlight. Her mother came and sat beside her. My daughter, Mama said softly, I am proud of you, but promise me one thing. Never let pride blind you again. Obialugo nodded. Mama, I have learnt my lessons. I was chasing shiny things and forgot what really matters. Odogwu did not come because of my beauty. He came because it was time. Mama smiled and patted her shoulders. That's my daughter. They both looked up at the moon, bright and peaceful. The night was peaceful. Weeks later, Clement came back with his family to pay for Obialugo's bride price. The whole village came for the ceremony. Even the men she said no to before. They stayed at the back, clapping with small, humble smiles. As the drummer played happily, Obialugo whispered to herself, from the girl nobody wanted to the bride everybody is celebrating. Clement looked at her. What did you say? He asked, smiling. She laughed quietly. Nothing, my Odogwu. I was just thanking the gods. The drums got louder. The villagers repeated our old words, but now with joy and laughter. I cannot settle for less. Only Odogwu deserves this beauty. The sun rose softly over the village, shining on the palm trees and rooftops. Drums were already beating before morning fully came. The air smelled like roasted meat, jollof rice, and sweet palm wine. It was Obialugo's wedding day. The same villagers who once called her the most unattractive girl were now rushing to help her, fetching water, carrying a wrapper, fixing a veil. Make a gele stand well, oh, Mama Nkechi shouted. The same woman who once said Obialugo would die single. Another woman said, our Odogwu is rich and fine. The girls are finally remember this girl. Even the men she rejected before were there, trying hard to look happy. When Obialugo stepped out of her hut, everyone opened their mouth in surprise. She looked so beautiful. Her coral beads shone. Her lace wrapper glowed. Her smile was warm enough to melt even a jealous heart. Children danced and sang. Obialugo, Obialugo. She said she won't settle for less. Now her Odogwu has come. Clement stood tall, wearing a white agbada and a cap. His gold watch shone brighter than the sun. When he saw her, she whispered, you look like a queen. She smiled proudly. That's because I'm standing beside my king. The crowd cheered as the drum beat faster. They shouted, only Odogwu deserves this beauty. Food was everywhere, like river. Palm wine both passed from hand to hand. Everyone was eating, dancing, and celebrating like happiness lived inside the village. Mama Obialugo, full of joy, shouted, who said my daughter will grow old in my house? The devil is a liar. Even if the fisherman danced so much his slippers broke. After some time, Obialugo stood up. Her voice rose above the music. Please, everyone, listen. I want to say something. The drummer slowed down. The crowd became quiet. She looked at the same people who once laughed at her. At her mother who prayed through her stubborn times. And at Clement, who smiled proudly. I used to think beauty and big standards were enough, she said softly. I thought love was only for people with big cars, Dubai perfumes, and pockets full of money. I believed humility was weakness. She paused. Tears shone in her eyes. But life taught me something. Real love is not about who shines the brightness. It is about who stays, even when the light goes off. The villagers nodded quietly. Even the gossipers leaned in to hear better. I left this village chasing perfect things. she continued, but I found something greater, a man who saw my heart, not just my face, a man who didn't lie with borrowed cars, but came with truth and peace. So, my sisters, Obialugo said, looking at a young girl sitting in front, never settle for less in value. The drummer started playing again, this time louder and faster. As the music played, Clement held Obialugo's hand and spun her slowly in front of everyone. She laughed happily, a real sweet laugh that even the tiny cricket seemed to copy. Later that night, after eating, dancing, and celebrating, Obialugo sat quietly under the bright moon with her husband. She looked up at the stars and said softly, Clement, do you know what I've learned? He smiled gently. Tell me, my queen. She giggled and said, sometimes you meet many pretend Odogus before you meet the true one. Clement laughed and pulled her close. By morning, Obialugo told the village goodbye and traveled with her husband to the city. There they lived happily ever after. The lessons: be bold, but stay gentle. Know your value, but don't let proud feelings hide your blessings. Because sometimes the true Odogwu doesn't come with fancy cars. It comes with peace and even walks on foot just to see you.